Welcome to Breaking News to Trading Moves.
Today we're looking at a headline that brings together big tech and international telecom.
Right, the story is that Google Cloud and Liberty Global have signed a 5-year strategic alliance.
It's a partnership that covers a lot of ground. We're talking about Liberty Global's entire European footprint.
And it involves rolling out Google's Gemini AI models, a whole suite of cloud tools, and there's even a hardware piece to this.
There is.
Okay, so before we get into the nuts and bolts, let's just set the stage. Who are the players here? On one side, obviously, Google Cloud.
Right, the hyperscaler part of Alphabet. They're providing the computing power, the intelligence layer.
And the other side is Liberty Global, for listeners who might not follow them so closely.
They're a major telecommunications company, a big one. They have operations all across Europe, with stakes in carriers like Virgin Media O2 in the UK and Vodafone Ziggo in the Netherlands.
So we have a major tech provider and a major connectivity provider linking up. And this is a 5-year agreement, so it's not just, a trial run.
No, it's much more embedded than that. This is about deploying Google's Gemini AI for very specific use cases within that telecom world. It touches everything.
Everything from how you find a movie to how the actual network itself is managed.
Exactly.
Okay, let's break down the what of this agreement. What are they actually building together?
Well, the first pillar is the AI integration. They're deploying Gemini, which is Google's generative AI, right into Liberty Global's operations.
And one of the most visible parts of that for consumers will be TV search and discovery.
Yeah, and that's something everyone can relate to. You turn on the TV and you just scroll endlessly.
Endless scroll.
Right. So the idea is to use AI to make that discovery process really personal. Instead of just a grid, the AI helps you find content based on, more complex questions or your actual preferences.
It's about getting you to the content you're paying for faster.
Exactly.
Reducing that friction.
Okay, and then there's the customer support angle.
Yeah.
This seems to be part of almost every AI announcement these days. It is. But in the telecom world, it's absolutely critical. They're putting in automated AI-driven support systems. The goal is to handle questions without needing a person for every single call.
Speed and resolution for the customer, but I'm guessing it's mostly about cost for the carrier.
It's very much about cost efficiency, which we'll get into.
And beyond what customers see, there's the back end, the network operations.
This is the part you don't see, but you definitely feel it when it goes wrong. They're using AI for better network reliability, for security, for what they call autonomous operations.
Meaning the software can predict a failure before it happens.
That's the idea. It predicts when equipment might fail or when traffic needs to be rerouted, and then just handles it automatically before your service ever gets interrupted.
Now, there's also a hardware piece to this, which seems a little different.
That's the key part of it, yeah. Liberty Global's companies are going to actively push Google devices. So we're talking Pixel phones, watches, their smart home gear.
It gives Google a direct sales channel through the carrier.
A huge one.
Yeah.
And they're also looking at the business-to-business side.
Small businesses.
Correct. They're jointly targeting that SMB market.
Right.
The plan is to offer a bundle. You get connectivity from Liberty, and then you get Google's cloud tools, AI services, and cybersecurity all in one package.
So that's the what. Let's talk about the why. What's the blueprint here?
We're seeing this pattern emerge. You could call it the telco plus hyperscaler blueprint. Telecom companies are under immense pressure. They have to spend billions building out fiber and 5G.
Which is incredibly capital intensive.
Exactly. So they have to find savings elsewhere.
They need to cut operating costs.
Precisely. Support centers and network ops are two of their biggest expenses. If AI can automate even a part of that, it frees up a lot of cash.
And at the same time, they need new ways to make money because just selling data is a tough business.
It's a commodity. Selling cloud services to businesses, on the other hand, offers much better margins. It's a necessary trade-off for them.
Okay, let's move on to the winners and losers from this deal. We can start with the direct players involved. First, the parent company of Google Cloud.
That would be Alphabet Inc. The ticker is GOOGL.
And why is this a clear win for them?
Well, it just reinforces Google Cloud's traction in the telecom vertical. And these are not small contracts. Telecom deployments are large, they're long duration.
Once a telco integrates your AI into their core network, it creates a really sticky relationship.
Sticky as in hard to get out of.
Exactly. It effectively locks Liberty Global into the Google ecosystem. It secures that long-term revenue for Google.
And then on the other side, Liberty Global.
Ticker for them is LBTYA.
And for them, the win is that efficiency we were just talking about.
Right. They get access to top-tier AI, which should help them reduce churn. The rate customers leave by just providing a better service.
Better search, better support. It directly tackles those operational costs. And having Google as a partner helps them sell those new services to small businesses, which is a growth area they desperately need.
Okay, those are the headline companies. But a deal like this runs on a lot of infrastructure. Let's talk about the picks and shovels winners.
This is the supply chain, right?
Yeah.
Rolling out Gemini means more inference workloads.
Inference being the computing power needed to actually run the AI model.
Every single time a user makes a request. And that just drives demand for hardware.
Chip makers first.
The primary name here is still NVIDIA. The ticker is NVDA. And right alongside them, you have Advanced Micro Devices, ticker AMD.
And the logic is pretty straightforward.
It's a volume play. These AI models run on GPUs. The more Liberty Global rolls out Gemini to millions of customers across Europe, the more processing power is needed in those data centers. That means more chips.
But the data has to move around, it doesn't just sit on the chip.
Which brings us to networking. You need really high-speed data center networking for this. So the winners here are companies like Arista Networks, ticker ANET, and Cisco Systems, CSCO.
Because AI traffic is just dense.
It's dense and it requires low latency. You can't have lag if you're doing real-time AI, so you need that top-tier switching gear that Arista and Cisco make.
And then there's the physical infrastructure, the buildings themselves.
Yeah, the physical layer. The partnership mentions bringing cloud delivery closer to the end user. We call that edge infrastructure. The companies that own this real estate are Equinix, ticker EQIX, and Digital Realty Trust, DLR.
And why do they win specifically from a partnership like this?
It just supports demand for collocation and interconnection. Google and Liberty need physical places to connect their networks. Equinix and Digital Realty provide those meeting points. As the cloud moves to the edge, the value of that real estate just goes up.
All right, let's look at the other side of this, the losers. When two companies get this close, others get pushed away. Let's start with cloud rival.
The obvious ones here are Amazon.com, ticker AMZN, and Microsoft, ticker MSFT.
And why is this bad for them?
Well, it's a big market, but this specific piece of it is now occupied. A named 5-year partnership with Google effectively crowds out AWS and Azure from Liberty Global's European operations.
So it's basically an exclusivity issue.
In practice, yeah. If Liberty is standardizing everything on Google Cloud, it makes it much harder for sales teams at AWS or Azure to get in there. They're left fighting for the smaller pieces.
Okay, then there's the impact on the people who currently do customer service, the automated support.
This directly affects the customer service outsourcers. So companies like Concentrix, ticker CNXC, and T-Tech Holdings, TTEC.
These are the companies that run the big call centers.
They are. And their whole business model relies on seat-based volumes. They bill for the number of human agents handling calls.
So if the AI works.
If the AI works and handles, say, 30 or 40% of the calls, the volume of work for those traditional call centers just plummets. It compresses their pricing power and shrinks their business with a client like Liberty Global.
And finally, what about hardware? You mentioned Liberty is going to push Google devices. Who does that hurt?
It puts pressure on Apple, ticker AAPL.
Really? Apple is so dominant. Does this actually move the needle?
It adds competitive friction. In Europe, a lot of people still buy their phones from the carrier stores. If the sales staff at Liberty's operators are now incentivized to push a Pixel phone, it just adds one more headwind for Apple in that upgrade cycle.
And it would also affect retailers.
Right. Companies like Best Buy, ticker BBBUI. If the carrier sells the phone directly to the consumer with some kind of bundle, get this internet plan, get a Google Pixel, it bypasses that third-party retailer completely.
Okay, so bringing this all together, what's the main trend we should be watching here?
The trend is clear. Telcos are partnering with hyperscalers to modernize. They're trading a degree of dependency for the efficiency and the new revenue streams they need to survive. It's a necessary evolution.
And it changes the customer experience, hopefully for the better, but definitely towards more automation.
Which leaves you with a question to think about. As telcos move to AI support to save money, will the human touch become a luxury, a premium feature you have to pay for? Or will the AI finally get good enough that we don't even miss the call centers?
That is something to watch. Before we sign off, please note that nothing in this episode constitutes financial advice or buy or sell recommendations. This is purely the opinion of the author and meant for informational purposes only.
Until next time.